All right, so if you're a guy that doesn't want to try testosterone replacement or anything like that, but you want to optimize your testosterone production, what are some of the best ways? Well, generally it comes down to healthy lifestyle, but there are some specifics that can be useful. So as it pertains to diet, it's a high protein, high carb, low fat diet. That's going to generally be the best, so long as your body composition is already good. If you are overweight and carrying a lot of body fat, anything over 20%, and I would even say probably anything over 18%, your testosterone production will suffer to some degree. So I would get that right first before trying to see how high you can push carbs without gaining bad weight or fat tissue. And then beyond that, it's going to be sleep. So your sleep is super important. You need at least 8 hours of good quality sleep. Going to bed at the same times matters. So if you are getting 8 hours of sleep and it's a shifting window, your body will not adapt to that properly. You want to be able to get that same 8 hours at the same time and going to bed, same time waking up. Other keys to protecting that circadian rhythm and ensuring good quality sleep are going to be adequate sunlight signaling and getting outside. If you don't have sunlight because you live in a northern climate, getting outside in the cold is still beneficial. One thing that I have noticed is that it's usually best to not wear any sunglasses that are blocking UV or anything like that when you're outside, unless it's for safety reasons or something along those lines. Getting outside sunlight to the eyes helps the brain know, yes, it's daytime. Getting outside as early as possible. Think immediately upon waking. So that you get that morning signaling, your brain knows it is time to wake up. That is when testosterone production is normally at its peak, is in the hour following waking. And a good way to help that along is to make sure you get outside so that your body knows it's daytime. You want daytime signaling. LED lights in the home are not sufficient. They don't give you the full spectrum of light that you need. If you have the ability to get a red light therapy device, that's good. UV light, that's good. You can't replace outside, however. Outside is generally going to be the best. Other things I'd be looking for is making sure you're doing at least a modicum of cardio. You don't need a ton, but at least doing an hour a week of low intensity cardio, which could be treadmill, brisk walking, anything like that. Some sprint work here and there, and of course lifting weights seems to help. Other factors can include stress management. If you're moderately stressed and just sort of like average dealing with day-to-day life, then that's fine. But if you're in a high stress environment, taking times to step away from that stress and de-stress via vagus nerve stimulation, journaling, things like that can be very, very helpful. Other factors I would normally look at as well are going to be the quality of the foods you eat, other things about your environment. If you're subject to excessive EMF signaling because you live or you work in a building all day that has a ton of wireless signaling or something like that, that will reduce testosterone. And so having things, there's only so much you can do, but you can actually wear yellow clothing and undergarments if you want. That actually blocks a lot of EMF and can be useful. You can only mitigate so much, of course, but it does have its place. Using things like a grounding pillow when you sleep can be helpful. It's one thing to be exposed to a lot of EMF during the day. We don't want it, but if we are, then you want to be exposed to as little as possible outside of those hours. So be cautious of those kinds of things. Generally, if you get these things in place, fertility and testosterone production will be as optimal as it can be. Of course, you might be a product of a past environment that has consequences for later in life. But those would be the main primary drivers I'd normally be looking for. Supplements like Tongat Ali and horny goat weed and stuff like that, they've been studied. They don't really tend to do much. You can maybe use them to raise your testosterone 10% or so, but typically guys that are seeking to have their testosterone do well, you're looking at needing something like a 50% or more increase. And these lifestyle factors are usually what I see that are going to move the needle the most. If you do these things and you don't get what you're looking for, my suggestion would be to explore testosterone replacement therapy because you will live longer, your quality of life will generally be higher, and it's going to get you all the things that you're looking for. We don't do it just because of the gains in the gym. Those are nice sort of side effects, but the main benefit is, of course, going to be the mental ability to push through challenges of difficulty, to handle stress better, to help your memory, sharpness, and reduce brain fog, those types of things, if you're getting those low testosterone symptoms. Hope this is helpful to you guys. If you want us to sort of talk through this a little bit more detail with you because you're dealing with some lifestyle things or other things like that that can make it more complicated, then we can sort of address in a video in this type of format. Feel free to reach out. We'd be happy to meet with you, talk you through any changes you might want to make to your lifestyle and see if we can help.